In the quiet of the night, most people have pondered the questions: who am I? What kind of life am I pursuing? What is the meaning of my life? If you have also been entangled in the confusion of life, I would like to recommend a literary master to you. He is Hermann Hesse. He has always been between ideal and real life, known as the last knight of German Romanticism and the lawyer of the individual soul, stirring the Yuphoff generation after generation. Nobel laureate in literature Thomas Mann commented, Hesse's writing is full of humanistic spirit and love for humanity. The founder of psychology, Carl Jung, admired, reading Hesse books is like feeling lighthouses shining in a stormy night. Jung publicly stated, because of Hesse, I fell in love with a monologue style, like a diary, like a letter, and also like a conversation with oneself when alone. He is one of the important writers in the history of 20th century literature, winning many important literary awards such as the Nobel Prize in Literature, Fontane Prize, and Goethe Prize. Throughout his life, his works have been translated into 53 languages and are popular all over the world. He is recognized by cultural scholars as a literary master in German cultural and literary history, second only to Goethe in time, and on par with Thomas Mann, Laozi, and Confucius. The Eastern philosophers admired, and Nietzsche and Kierkegaard, the Western philosophers liked. Thus his works integrate theses of both Eastern and Western cultures. Some say that young people all over the world love Lu. His novels focus on individual spiritual suffering, and Stravetto find a path toward self. His do your own thing has also become the motto of several generations of young Americans. The characters in his works are always struggling between the contradictions of soul and body, spirit and reality, reason and desire, art and life. And these are the subjects that everyone who pays attention to themselves, pursues their own destiny, will inevitably encounter. Some readers comment, the more I read them, Hesse works, the more I find myself in these books, Hesse himself said. The characters in my novels all experience spiritual suffering and internal crises. They are researching, pursuing, and questioning. If you doubt the meaning of life and hope to explore their true self and find the person of the self, then please step into his sorrow of self-redemption. You will know better than those around you way to want, and what your essence is, pursuing a truly happy life. Siddhartha is his most representative coming-of-age novel and a growth book for every Western college student. It tells the story of a person in human history who found his true self through his own wisdom. The protagonist, Siddhartha, is the son of an Indian Brahmin and comes from a noble family. He and his friend Govinda practice meditation, but their hearts are still not satisfied and restless. Therefore, he and his friend leave home and embark on the path of spiritual practice. Along the way, he experienced learning, asceticism, listening to doctrines, awakening, falling into secular life, regret, practicing, loving, and finally achieving inner peace and completeness. Siddhartha is not a religious book, but a philosophical book about how to find the true self and how to listen to the meaning of life. This book is very thin, and it only takes 2 hours to finish reading, but the profound meaning behind it can be beneficial for 20 years. Every time I read it, I feel its transcendent sacred revelation, as if probing the deepest part of the soul. It may be the book I have read thee most times, and the words in the text always resonate high, so much that I want to copy and memorize entire paragraphs. Did I lose wealth, or did wealth lose me? Everyone is entangled in their own goals, and everyone endures suffering. I have no right to judge the lives of others. I can only make judgments for myself. Siddhartha's life seems to have lived through the lives awful people enthralled, and walked through the hard journeys of everyone. His life has the shadow of each of us, and we all have to go through countless twists and turns, and a long path of practice. But as Siddhartha, who becomes a ferryman in the book, says, wisdom cannot be shared. It can be discovered and experienced. I believe that after writing his story, you will definitely have some insights and start to experiment around life, becoming another Siddhartha. Demian is a literary classic, beloved by Haruki Murakami, Jing Sun, and Li Yinhei, Nobel laureate in literature. In 1929, Paul Thomas Mann praised, "This is a work that hits the nerve of the times. It tells the arduous process of a young boy named Sinclair in search of his own path. Sinclair, born Andres de Lay, Lloyd of Light, accidentally discovered a completely different otherworld where the chaos and darkness make him anxious and confused. At this time, a boy named Demian appears, leading him out of the swamp, and from then on, he begins to walk the lonely path to find himself. Opening this book, I seem to follow Thothar through a real spiritual adventure with real stories and real emotions. The protagonist there is not only the boy called Sinclair, but more like a reference to each of us. Every sentence in the book is a whip and guide for us. Every person's life is a journey towards the self, an attempt at a path, a quiet call of a footpath. We are not isolated. We live in thoughts and conversations, thus living at the center of the world. You cannot compare yourself to others. If nature made you a bat, you cannot evade the idea of turning yourself into an ostrich. The eternal journey of self-discovery is always long and arduous in reality. Not everyone can be fortunate enough to have a guide like a Demian, but at least we can find some insights into life in this book to guide us in every moment of lonely search and difficult choice. Steppenwolf was published in 1927, and it caused a sensation in Europe and America as soon as it was published, and it set off a Hesse fever across national borders, marking a milestone in Hesse's creative career. Thomas Mann praised it as Germany's Ulysses, and it has been translated into nearly 20 languages. The protagonist of Venable Haller is an upright writer who despises the modern way of life, often stays at home, and is almost in a whole state of schizophrenia. One day, he happened to read a small book called On Steppenwolf, and suddenly felt awakened, thinking that highs a Steppenwolf existing with humanity and wolf nature. In an era of materialism, he feels powerless, at a loss, and the mental pressure is increasing. Haller finally found an outlet in spirit, but when he saw his friend being intimate with another person, his wolf nature flared up, killing the other person and causing his own mental collapse. The Steppenwolf symbolized the primitive and naked side of a person facing the truth. Hesse said, deep in everyone's shirt, there is a Steppenwolf that is willing to be lonely but eager to be understood. For example, when with is a difficult task, our wolf nature might think, it is so hard everywhere, why not just quit? But humanity will jump out and say, if you can't burst little hardship, how can you be considered a person? The multiple voices within us are fighting and debating and we live in this contradiction, painfully being pushed by the tide of the times to just be a person. In the book, there are too many sentences. Question the soul. There is no way back at all. We can neither return to buying jackals nor to being children. There are always a few people in the world who demand a lot from life and are unwilling to accept their own stupidity and vulgarity. If you cannot love yourself, you cannot love others. And if you hate yourself, you will so hate others. Reading Steppenwolf is to face one's own heart